guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Debelachukwu Anliokolo and my channel is Talk with the Bell. If this is your first time, welcome and join our amazing community as we learn more about our walk with Christ. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back again. So guys, today's video is part of our Once Upon a Time series, and we can give a drum roll for that because every time you hear Once Upon a Time, it means story time. But unfortunately, this will be the last video for the year 2025 in the Once Upon a Time series. And this doesn't mean the series is going completely away. It just means it's going to come back in the new year. And guys, can you believe how fast the year is running? Like, I keep looking and the clock is ticking and it's running and it's not slowing down. It's not waiting. It keeps moving. But yes, guys, unfortunately, that's it. We've had so much storytelling in this year. And I really pray that you didn't just listen to the stories to have a good laugh, but you also listened to the stories and got the lessons that were shared. And if that meant anything or related to you on one beat, I pray and I pray and I pray and I pray that you don't lose the revelation for that. So for today's video, I haven't shared this part of my life as much with you guys. I feel like I'm also shy still seeing it and knowing that I have to share it. But I also hinted to this about a year and a half ago in that video, answering like your burning questions or something like that about, are you in a relationship? No, I'm not in a relationship, and I'm still not in a relationship till today. But today's video, as you've already seen from the thumbnail, is once upon a time I was in a situationship. Your girl, me, yes, situationship, not relationship. Hear the difference very well. And I just want to share as much as I can share from the whole roller coaster of emotions that happened. My learnings, of course, like just a lot. It was a season of my life that I never foresaw happening the way it did, but it did, and I'm really grateful for the experience in as much as it wasn't the outcome I wanted, and we'll get more into details. But we thank God, and that's why we are here. And when the Holy Spirit said it's about time we share this, I said, wow, Lord, you can't give me a breather, can you? But yes, guys, so I want you to get ready, get into your seats, and let's go straight into today's story time. So guys, where did it all begin? See, in this video, I'm gonna have a lot of like shy moments, so bear with me. My friend used to call it under the ground, so we might have a lot of under the ground moments, but that's not why we are here. We are here for the tea. But before I go further, I actually want to read what the meaning of a situationship is, which is like differentiating and knowing like the thing, like the difference between a relationship and a situationship. So a situationship is a romantic or sexual relationship that is not considered to be formal or established. So basically, you want it to be more, you want it to be something serious, but it's not that because you've not named it anything, but you just know that your heart is going way one when you see this person and you're just going in that like, hey. So I love the girlies that say, hey, what are we doing? What is this meant to be? Where is this headed? Because it means you're not trying to waste time. But okay, I've already started going too much into it. But yes, where did this all begin? This was 2022, summer of 2022. And this situationship, guys, to give you a time frame, it was a good 6 months of my life that I can't get back. But it was a 6 months roller coaster of emotions. And basically, I met this person like over the summer, and like if all of you already know, like over the summer here in the US, a lot of us like we have internships, we meet people, we work on projects. It's really exciting. You're in a different city, and I just felt like I connected on so many bases, so many levels. And I remember when I sent like a picture of me and a person to my mom, it was just like, oh, I met this person, and it was like really fun, a really cool, fun event. And next thing, the following day, I asked my mom a question. I was like, wait, mommy, do you think it's too early for me to get into a relationship? Or like, what's your thought on this? And this was me going into my junior year. So I was just going into my third year of college. And my mom's response was like so surprising. She said, no, I think like you're already of age, like you're already grown, you're already an adult, you're already making your own decisions. Like, yeah, is there somebody? I said, no, there's nobody. But my mom's response was something that I wasn't expecting, and I just like got that as a green light for so much. And oh god, you guys, that was an unleashment. Call it unleashing into a different version of Anli that I didn't even know existed, because I've always known I was a lover girl, and I just never knew that it could go to that extent, especially when someone had not even like put a title or a name to anything. But back to the story. So after that, I was like, okay, as you stay on your bed and you're doing something and you're not doing anything, you're not working with your mind, your mind is being idle. I started picturing what could be with this person. Like, oh yeah, our paths are definitely aligned. I'm trying to be in the city. It's trying to be in the city too. Is in this field. I'm also going to be in this field. Is doing this. I'm going to do this as well. So we're going to be set. Just picturing all levels of what it could be. And at this point, I got really excited because, like, for me and a couple of like my OG friends, I call them OGs now, but a couple of my friends are like, hey guys, we're going on this journey together. And I just pretty much said, like, okay, this is what I'm feeling towards this person, and this is what I feel like it could be as well. And I know I'm not stupid. I know I'm not stupid, but I knew the signals I was getting as well. So I got really excited. I had like this private Snapchat um Snap group chat that I always send like updates of things happening or just me being in school, and just it was exciting, really exciting. So that was August. I got back to school and I was really getting excited at what could be, because this person I wasn't gonna see on campus anymore the following year. So it was like, okay, this is gonna be a good semester to like really explore where this could potentially go. And I was also just getting into my third year, but I also did not anticipate how much work I had in that year waiting for me with all my responsibilities. But I was also really excited. I'm like, okay, another part. So I go back to school, things are going as normal, and at this point, students started returning, students started coming back to school, and I can't remember where it was, but I think it was a position where I was waiting more for a full-time, like my full-time offer. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. But I was waiting more to hear back regarding like the result of my internship and if there was going to be an extension for a return the following year, which was really crucial. And I just had my heart going left, right, left, right, left, right. And I spoke to a lot of like mentors, I spoke to a lot of friends, and it was just really encouraging all around, like, hey, you did a really good job this summer, like just keep waiting and wait for the positive. And I spoke to this person as well, and person was like, hey, like there's no reason to feel like your presentation went well. And all the conversation kept going, and I was like, oh, like how is so and so state going? And he said, oh, what makes you think I'm still in this city, like I'm back in school? And I was like, oh, like back in school. So I remember calling my mom, and I told my mom that, and my mom was like, like, why would someone be back in school and someone that you think there's something with and the person will communicate it with? Oh my god, guys. Let's keep going. So yes, I told my mom that, but you're in this state and you're in this phase, you're just like, oh no, mom, I don't think it should be such a big deal. I just think he didn't tell me, and yeah, that part. So eventually, my mom is a very interesting character. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the snail analogy. Someone shared this with me recently, and they're like, oh, when the Lord is trying to come through and then you are fighting, or if like, let's say a snail is in an area and it senses like restriction, like basically an obstruction, the snail goes back in. And that's how I felt like the snail went back in. And that's how, regarding this matter, I feel like my mom was just like, okay, she's gonna scope, she's gonna see. But she already did, she disapproved. Like, that was the very first thing she disapproved of. And I was just like, okay, I mean, it's just one thing, let's give this person a breather. And eventually, like, my friends were there, like, I'm talking about, oh, this was what happened over the summer, and like just really, really excited. We even came up with nicknames. So like, when we're talking about this person in the cafeteria, or we're eating or wherever we might be, we can easily just like refer to the person. His nickname back then was Prospect. Was it Prospect or Perspective? I think it was Prospect. My girls, if you remember, please put that in the comment section. But yeah, it was Prospect. I think it was Prospect, definitely Prospect. And then like we just like, oh, like how is Mr. Prospect going? And we're like, hey. Oh my god, underground moments. But yes, so we keep going with the story. So my mom was definitely not on board. Like after that, that was kind of like one of the very points where she was like, yeah, this, if you think it's serious, it might not really be serious on this person's end. But I kept it pushing. A lot of my friends, I had like 5-6 other friends that were involved in this, so they also knew, but everyone was also excited with me because we're all kids. We're all kids back then. And I remember talking to one of my friends. I was like, it's been like this number of weeks now, and I haven't heard anything from him. But at the same time, like, I want to go out, like, I want to do something. So my friend told me, like, hey, like, let's, like, just do something, like, probably go try doing something, or like something fun, and like probably invite him as well. So eventually I said, okay, bowling wasn't too far away from our school, so I was like, okay, like, hey, like, I'm thinking of going out to like bowl, would you want to come, something like that. God, I didn't want to see that message. Yeah, I don't, you're none of that. But yeah, eventually he said something. He asked how many other people were coming, and I said, oh, nobody else, like, no one else was coming. And I can't remember his response, but it was something about like having what was it called? Yeah, there was a conflict, so he couldn't come. And I'm like, oh my God, in my life I got rejected. I'm even one who said, let's go. God, why am I sharing this anyways? But yes, I was even the one that got rejected, and I just kept going. And then I'm like, okay, that happened. And my friend, and there was still no move, but still my heart was in this, okay, it could be, it could not be, it could be, it could not be. Like, this is like August, September. Was it September? Yeah, August to September. And then I remember September was this person's birthday, something with September or something like that. And I was just like, okay, so today I'm gonna dress up this way. Like, in your head, and what makes you think that dressing up in a particular way may make, yeah, but in my beautiful head, it was just like, if I dress up this way, and I see this person, like, we show that we're actually celebrating together, if that made any sense. But then I still took my pictures, I still posted them on Instagram, and I still felt cute, and I was still happy I did the pictures regardless, because I didn't even see the person. I didn't even see the person on their birthday, but of course I still wished like happy birthday. So I still kept saying, like, it could be, it could not be, it could be, it could not be. And I had a really good friend then that like just came into the US and was talking about like experiences like this person had with that person, and it just showed like how kind-hearted like that person was. But then when I was talking about it to my friends, they're like, can go that extreme, but then still not trying to make an effort like to go out like just both of you. I'm like, yeah, Papi is just busy. Guys, when you know you're giving the excuses for everything, that's the biggest red flag. But anyways, we keep it pushing. But that was just one part, and then of course the birthday thing happened. And then after the birthday thing, I think it was like October. This is already the third month, and when I'm talking about this month, like, there was never any let's go out, let's go do anything, or even like back-to-back conversations. It's just been conversations here and there, like, hey, like, how you doing, are you like fair, like, pretty much. Now that I think about it, this were just like conversations that I could have had with some other people that cared about me as well, right? But me, as girls, we try to think of it as, oh my God, it reached out, so it must mean something. Anyways, so after that, I think the third month, what even happened? I can't remember what happened, but I remember just being on my bed. And in this whole period, I told all my friends, like, hey, pray with me. Like, I actually need clarity. Like, in the point, the major thing for me was, even though I was in that roller coaster of, I saw how, oh, I could really, like, fall for someone, I keep falling for someone. I saw how, like, I cared so much about a person that I could defend for the person, even though the person don't really give me reasons to defend for. The third thing was, I prayed. Like, it was always like, God, I'm going to bed today, and I just really want clarity on this situation. God, this is what I want. This is what I've painted. This is the beautiful picture and future that is ahead of me, but I still want clarity. And the funniest thing I said, like, when I was going to start this video, I was going to call the person Mr. X. So let's keep moving with Mr. X. So eventually October came, and I was just like in my room. I'm like, Lord, let's make a deal. So today, if I see Mr. X, because this person, I barely even saw the person on campus. It wasn't like someone you just moved to the dining or cafeteria, you see the person, you move to the library, you see the person. No, it's like you once in the life, once in a month, or once in 2 weeks. And I was just like, Lord, I'm going to be on campus today, and I want to see Mr. X. And eventually I was like, Lord, if I see Mr. X, that's your sign, that's your beautiful sign that this is gonna happen. So tell me why I went through the day, like, I didn't even remember the deal or the contract that I made with the Lord. And I just kept going through my day. I had a really great time in class, blah blah blah. And eventually I was walking back to my dorm, and guess who I saw? Mr. X. And then when I saw him, I was like, hold on now, that is Mr. X. And at that point, I was going to, even though I was going to my dorm, I was going to our mail room to go pick up a package because packages were therapy for me back in school, especially junior year. But like I was going there and I saw like he was also there as well. So like we actually started talking and like I got my package. I can't remember what happened. There was another friend there. So we eventually went back to her room. Mind you, this is where I should have been going, but still I went to the right because I said, Mr. X is going that way, let's go with Mr. X. So eventually we went there. It's not like Mr. X was talking to me, or not really talking to me, he was helping my friend with something. And I was just on the bed, and I was just like, wow, God, you really answer prayers. Like, don't you? So what does this now mean? And that was October. So October I kept going through that. And I can't remember. I think there was like an event that happened, like our game, and then I was in the royal court. So Mr. X was like, "Hey, we can actually do something," and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." But I was frustrated with a lot that happened that day, so it was just a lot of ranting on my end as well. And eventually, like we were just meant to talk, but that never happened. But to me, I saw that as efforts, but then I saw it as I was also ranting. So probably that sent the person away. Anyways, that never, don't do that, girls, don't do that. So October came, November came, and at this point in November, I think we're getting ready to like round up the semester because of course December was when we're like writing finals and finally leaving. And eventually I was just talking to my friend, I think a particular friend in Australia, and I was just like, this has been a bunch of like emotional roller coaster because there's been no verbal, hey, I like you, me too, I like you, but in my own head, we're already in a situationship. And then like I'm planning a future that is not existent. So it's like I really just want to know like where are we? Where is this going? Where is this headed? Is this a thing or is it just in my head? And let it just like let's lay to bed if there is nothing really. And that was when she gave me a suggestion. I'm sure it was a suggestion like, okay, since this person is graduating, just get a person a gift, right? So I was doing like a bunch of like pictures for my room and I was like, oh, I could just do like a towel with me and this person and give it to the person as a graduation gift. So I eventually did that, and then it was like first week in December because I was leaving the country. I was going back to Nigeria that second week, or yeah, I was going back to Nigeria that second week. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to give this gift to this person, and I'm going to ask the question. And if I ask the question and it's a no, you know, worst case scenario, you're already leaving school. I'm going home tomorrow, so I'll go and eat my cake at home and suck and be fine. So eventually, I was like, okay, I finished writing all my finals because even like those roller coaster, I didn't even let that affect my books. Thankfully. But like I was still figuring out, wow, Emily, you can react this way. This is crazy, Emily. Like it was just so much learning about myself as a person, and December came, I was done with finals, and I think there was one particular person, one particular professor that was messing with my grade, and I was just like, "Not today, sir. Like, I'm leaving this country in 2 days. I can't do." And that was the final day to put in the grades into the system. So I was like back and forth, getting on a call, like, "Sir, let me explain. Please don't do this. I can't have this grade." Like I was going to do that. Tell me why this person now texted me on Snapchat talking about some like, hey, I have a question for you. Please don't ask me a freaking question on Snapchat. Why are you asking me on Snapchat? But yeah, that was it. He asked me a question on Snapchat, and if I recall how it went was, I think he was just checking up at first, and I was like, oh, like crazy how you even checked up. Like, I actually have a gift for you. Like, is it okay if I bring it to you today? He was like, yeah, like that's fine. And then he was like, oh, I have a question for you. And if I remember, I will paraphrase. Like, did you ever like me at any point or something along those lines, guys? Guess what my response was? I sent a laughing emoji back. Oh God, I sent a laughing emoji back, and I was like, I think I said, I can't remember. This was 3 years ago. Oh my God. Yeah, I sent a laughing emoji back, and then I was like, oh yeah, like right now I'm trying to figure out my grades, but this is a discussion that we can have later tonight. Something around that. But the laughing emoji that I sent was definitely stupid. Anyways, we keep it pushing. So I eventually worked out like my whole grade with the professor, so I was like in a more cool headed place. And I got to this person, I gave the person the gift, and I was just like sitting down And I was like, wait, your questions, like, what does that mean? And we had like a really, really long conversation like that night. We had a really long conversation and just questions like, oh, if you ever felt this way, why didn't you say anything? And like, oh, now you're leaving, you're graduating, moving to a whole different state. Like this, like basically what's the next step, right? And I think I asked that question a couple of times that night, like, okay, well, what is the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? Because I'm also now I'm like my standards for me are like here. Then my standards were here. Now it's like on any man that comes. Oh God. Anyways, so yeah, eventually like all of that conversation to me eventually wasn't really fruitful because there was no description of where we headed from here. Like you're leaving school, I'm going home, you're not coming back to school, so where's this headed? So I left that, but still like, hey, this is what happened last night. I told all my girls, every single person. Oh, the conversation was had. Like I was so excited, but still, that question of what next was not answered. And I remember talking to my friend in Australia, and she's like, wait, I only like this doesn't seem right. And I was like, man, I don't want to hear that. Like I don't want to hear it, but still, okay. I mean, I see your point, like fair point. So I got to Nigeria, and I really didn't like communicate with anyone for real for like a couple of days because I was going for like my visa, and I just wasn't trying to talk to people. So in this period of me not trying to talk to people, I still expected this somebody to text me, Mr. X, but Mr. X was like barely like communicative. So eventually I like got my visa and I was like, okay, now I'm ready for everyone. And I remember my best friend, like we're having a conversation about it. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is not what I as a person, like for me as like I 110% communication is what I expect in a relationship. Like I cannot do this is what you thought, this is what you thought. And for me, you don't even have to wait to ask me. I will tell you what is on my mind. So I eventually told her that. She was like, yeah, why don't you just go ahead and call him? So I went ahead that night and called. I think it was like FaceTime because I was in her hostel. It was like FaceTime and like I didn't get a response or something. Someone else picked up the phone, but I didn't even dip in it too much. But at that point, I was like, you know what? This is not working because if now at this point we've said, oh, you like me, I like you, so now there is no justifying what your actions are. And even like to backtrack a little bit, we had like a Bible study group back in school, and we went to like our student leader's house. Like he passed, yeah, Pastor James went to his house, and then they asked everyone to go around like, what was your prayer point? And I opened my mouth and was like, guys, I just need clarity from God. I just need clarity from God on this situation with Mr. X. And everyone was laughing, but like I was so serious. Like I was so serious. Like, God, I don't want to be wasting my time. This is 5 months that already passed already, going into the 6th month. And I was just like blatantly wasting my time for someone that wasn't even giving me an eye or whatever. And eventually when I made that decision, like in Nigeria, like, okay, this is not working out, like we've had this, the communication isn't happening. I think the only call I got from that person was probably on my birthday, which is December 15th. And of course I didn't even see the call come through because I was in Nigeria, my phone is not connected to internet all the time, so if you FaceTime me, I'm not gonna see it. So I was just like, Lord, this is December 15th, I'm going into a new year, 2023, I think it was 2023. And I was just like, I'm going into a new year, I'm not taking this with me at all. I don't even have the capacity to take this with me. What is someone thinking? What is this person not thinking? And just all of that combined. And I remember at that point, like I had a conversation with my mom. My mom just looked at me, and I remember we were on our dining table, and my mom just looked at me. But one thing I'm really thankful for the mother that I have is that she will never tell you I told you so. Never. She like never. But I mean, you will feel it, you will know. But she would never tell you in your face that she told you so. And she basically just reiterated, this is why we have standards, right? And you stick to your standards. You don't try to compromise for anyone. You don't try to come down on it for anyone, and like stick to your standards. So I remember like getting towards the end of the year, I was like, Lord, I'm going into this new year, I'm evaluating like if my, because my mom's point has always been and still remains, if a guy is really after you, like he will pursue you. Like if he's not pursuing you now in a relationship, then like what are you gonna do when, okay, possibly gets into marriage? And also, I'm not a girl who is here to waste time. So I'm not here to just date for fun. I'm not just here to date, experience. Like, no, experiences will come, but like, I'm not here to waste time. If I go out with you and this ain't going nowhere, I tell you there and then out. So I already had that mindset, but back then it was like I had it, but like I could come down on it, like, oh, if I don't take a vacation, probably. So it was just like a conversation like my mom and I had on, we're gonna reevaluate this and we're gonna stick with it. So I remember going into the new year, I actually stopped responding to like messages from this person on Snapchat. From this, first of all, Snapchat, like, are you a coward? Like, text on text, like iMessage, right? And I literally was just like, Lord, I want you to take this, like, take it away. I just want you to. I don't want to have to battle it myself. I don't even want to think of. Just take it away. And that was my prayer point. Like, even though it was hard, but I really got to that point by myself to say, like, I'm actually ready to let this go. So I crossed over into the new year, and I was really excited because I was like, yeah, that was the story of 2022. Wasn't going into the year with me. And eventually, one of my friends that were traveling back to the US together, she's like, hey, like, I actually have something to tell you. No, she didn't tell me she had something to tell me. I saw a message from this person, and then I took a screenshot and I sent it to her. Like, he doesn't get the memo yet or something like that. Like, if you really want to talk to me, you gotta man up and stop being a coward. Like, talk on iMessage or phone call. And she was like, yeah, like, don't give him mind anymore, like, don't text him. And I said, oh my God, why is all of that? And she said she was going to tell me when we're leaving the plane. And eventually, I was like, you're kidding me, because I can't wait. And eventually found out that, oh yeah, this person has been in a relationship the person had been in a relationship previously. And I was just like, wow, very interesting. Like, and I think the major thing about the whole thing, because of course I remember saying with my crew, like, I said like, hey guys, guess what? This person had been in a relationship the entire time, and like they were ready to go beat him up. See, guys, better have people in your life that will beat up somebody. Like, they will find you and they will beat you up. But they were so ready to go beat this guy up, and I'm just really, really thankful for the friends I have in my life, especially my best friend. Like, she felt that our whole heart was broken more than my heart, because when she was like, she's like, oh, are you really okay? I said, I'm okay. Do you want me to knock my carry on my head and be like, hey, God, no, they broke my heart? Because I feel like why it wasn't really painful, like, even when there was a part of it was painful because of what it could have been, but it wasn't like, God, my heart is broken kind of like feeling, because I'd really told God to work on me and take that away. I'd gotten to that point by myself. If I heard that before I got to that point, oh my God, I would have been miserable. But I got to that point by myself and just being really real with myself. Like, these are all the red flags, and you cannot ignore the red flags. So I was tired of ignoring the red flags, and I already got to that point by myself. But my friends still thought like I wasn't really okay. Like, when some of my friends saw me in school, they're like, oh, are you sure you're okay? I'm like, I'm really okay. Okay, you sure you don't want to talk about this? Like, I'm like, no, I have a therapist. But like, even in therapy, I remember describing the whole thing, because my therapist was like in the whole journey with me as well. And she was like, let's go. Like, what is this guy's name? Like, that's so cruel. I'm like, no, it's not about that. Like, it's about me. Like, why did I even try bringing my standards down to someone that wasn't worth it? And just like reevaluating everything, I'm really, really grateful that I even had such a space to like reflect and get back to, these are the reasons why I have this in place. These are the things that I can't compromise on, and just like really being grateful to God for taking me to that place in my own way. Because I remember one of the scriptures I was actually going to share with you guys today, which is Proverbs 16 verses 23 from Amplified Version, and it says, "A man's mind plans his way as he journeys through life, but the Lord directs his steps and establishes them." And like, when I think about this, it's like we are so caught up in like trying to plan what this would be. Like, Lord, this is the way it should go. This is how this should be. This is what it should look like. Meanwhile, God is like, He's the only one that can actually allow for these things to happen in certain ways. So, like, even just walking through therapy, like, someone asked me, do you regret the whole thing that happened? I don't regret anything that happened, because I learned so much about myself. I was able to understand that the standards that I had in place for years of my life were things that at that point I could just fumble or roll over on, right? But after having that experience, I knew my why for why every single thing was there. And now, like, you can't just do certain things and have a, you wouldn't even get the thoughts from me. Like one of my mentors said, like, if you get to a particular point, I forget your name, quick, like, be gone. And I'm just like really thankful for my community still, like really thankful for my friends, sisters, like cousin, best friend, like my mom, like how people even like helped me through that stage of my life. Even my therapist, like, oh god, AGO. But it was like I learned so much, and I was like, wow, this is how I can be a real lover girl, a real lover girl, guys. But yes, guys, that brings us to the end. That brings us to the end of my story time. And I really do pray and hope that if any of you, like, I'm not a relationship expert, disclaimer, I am not. I've not been in a relationship before, so exactly, you can't really take advice from me. But if you've been in a situationship, I've been in a situationship too, so I can give you advice on that. Do not assume anything. Like, if the assumption till it is said with your mouth that this is what it is not, and that will save you so much heartache. Like, it will save you so much time. And I wouldn't have done anything differently. Probably speak more to people that were in relationships, to get advice from that standpoint. That's the only thing I would have done differently. But like, one of the major key highlights I take from that is just really praying to God, even in situations you don't have clarity. Like, you're still praying to God on every single thing, because it does matter. And I pray that the Holy Ghost guides you in every stage of your life, in every phase it might be. Even as we get towards the end of the year, and with so many of you like waiting on your partner, your spouse, like, we're in it together. But the person who is for you, the rib of your rib, like the person who is for you, without you won't even have to ask the question, like, what does this person feel for me? Like, it's gonna come. And I pray this encourages you, and please share it with somebody else who you know this will encourage them as well, because relationships, guys, they're a waste of time. Don't be in it, please don't. But guys, that brings us to the end of this video, and I hope that you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, comment down what was your favorite part of this story time for sure, and also like if you haven't liked already. Until next time, keep living your best life with Christ at the center of it all. Bye bye.